Okay, so just recently, the IRS has already announced that instead of the usual April 15th tax deadline, taxpayers will now have until April 18, 2022 to file and pay their income taxes, which brings up some bad memories because for about the last two tax seasons, we saw major tax refund delays. And if you were someone who experienced those delays last year, then you know how bad they were. Because historically, it takes the IRS 2, maybe 3 weeks to process a tax return. Well, last year, some people, including myself, saw our tax returns take 2 to 3+ months to process. And so, okay, I'm curious, tell me in the comment section below if you were someone who experienced long tax processing delays last tax season. Anyway, many delays were due to several different factors like the tax law changes. So there were a lot of tax returns that were impacted by the CARES Act, the American Rescue Plan Act, all the stimulus checks that were sent and processed, as well as some of the unemployment checks. All those had stipulations and implications on tax returns. On top of that, the IRS had made several tax cuts in the previous years. There were rumors about the IRS computer systems just being completely outdated, and then the deadlines were getting pushed back as well. And I mean, last tax season was just a mess. And now here we are already starting off 2022 with another pushback, which brings up the question, will tax refunds be delayed in 2022? So I did some research. Let's go ahead and talk about what we can expect this tax season. Stay tuned. Hey there, and welcome to our channel. I'm Sean with Life Accounting, the accounting company that helps you save on taxes and build more wealth. Look, if you like this topic and appreciate videos like this, then please do us a huge favor by hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm to continue supporting our channel, and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, starting with number 1. Why is the traditional April 15th deadline being moved to April 18th, 2022 this tax season? So when I first saw this headline, I freaked out a little bit. But here's the thing, okay? April 16th is a national holiday which is being recognized by Washington, D.C. But April 16th falls on a Saturday, so federal offices like the IRS will be closed on Friday, which is April 15th, which means the office won't reopen until April 18th, 2022, which explains this year's tax deadline. But that doesn't mean there won't be any delays, which brings me to number 2, the potential reasons for tax processing delays in 2022. Okay, so the first big reason is, and if you've been paying attention to the news, you know there's a new variant that is spreading, and apparently it is spreading very fast. We're already seeing this variant affect sports, public safety, and corporations. So it's not unthinkable to believe that it could spread amongst federal offices as well, like the IRS. And if that happens, that means there's going to be less staff available to review and process tax returns. And we definitely don't want that, because that could lead to major delays once again. So that's big reason number 1. Now, the second big reason we could see refund delays in 2022 are because of the child tax credit advance payments. Of course, many people started taking advanced child tax credit payments in July and August of 2021, which is a great benefit for the people who needed it, right? But it's still left to be seen how those credits will be accounted for and reflected on this year's tax return, because people got different payment amounts. Some people started getting their advanced payments later than others, and many other factors and variables happened around that advanced child tax credit. So I am hoping that the IRS is organized this year, that they send out an official tax form or a letter to everyone who did receive an advanced child tax credit, and makes it easy for everyone to know exactly how much they need to report on their tax return. Otherwise, it could turn into a complete mess. I mean, in my years of doing tax preparation, I've seen where both parents aren't on the same page and they file separately and they try to claim the same child on one tax return. So if one parent got the advanced child tax credit, but then another parent tried to claim that child on their 2021 tax return, that could be a big problem that the IRS needs needs to reconcile. Okay, let's go ahead and move into number 3 and hear about what the IRS has to say when it comes to refund delays and understand refund timing. So according to the IRS website, although the IRS issues most refunds in less than 21 days, the IRS cautions taxpayers to rely on receiving a refund by a certain date, especially when making major purchases or paying bills, which of course the last 2 tax seasons definitely taught us this one, right? Like, we don't want to be waiting on the IRS for our payments. But let's go ahead and continue. So some returns require additional review and may take longer. For example, the IRS and its partners continue to strengthen security to review and protect people against identity theft and refund fraud. And it goes on to say that additionally, anyone who received the earned income tax credit or the child tax credit can't be issued a refund before mid-February by law, which is typically when the new tax season starts anyway. So with this statement, the IRS is basically saying, hey, we're going to do our best to try to process your returns within 21 days, but we can't promise it. And hey, don't count on paying any bills with your tax refund as well, because it may not arrive on time. So it's left to be seen whether or not we're going to see delays in 2022. Number 4, let's talk about how to avoid tax refund delays. Now, here's the truth. There may be nothing you can do to avoid tax refund delays, but there are some steps you can take to give yourself the best chance of avoiding tax processing delays in 2022. And step 1 is to view your account information online. You want to go ahead and get a complete picture of where your federal tax account stands. So if you have any outstanding payments that you need to make, of course, go ahead and take care of them if you can. And make sure you review all your economic payments and your child tax credit payments if you have them. And definitely go ahead and look at your tax transcript and make sure everything is where you expect it to be. All right, step number 2 is going to be gather and organize your tax records. Okay, of course, if you file early, then you have a chance of being first in queue and getting your tax return process faster. And if you want to get your tax return done quickly, then you want to make sure you have all your tax documents, your forms, your records together so you're prepared to file. Okay, step number 3, prepare your tax return accurately. Okay, look, if you have an error in your tax return or it's missing important information, then you could trigger a manual IRS review, and that definitely will give you a delay because now your tax return must be checked for identity theft or fraud. And after it's been cleared, you'll more than likely have to correct your form and resubmit, which of course causes even more delays. And step number 4, file your tax return electronically. This is probably one of the straightforward ones, but if you're still mailing your tax return, which there's nothing wrong with, by the way, but it does take more time for you to mail in a tax return than to file it to the IRS electronically. So consider that instead of mailing it. All right, step number 5, which is closely following step number 4, consider getting a direct deposit. Just like it takes more time for you to mail in your tax return, it takes the IRS more time to mail you your check. And of course, sometimes things get lost in the mail or sent to the wrong place. So that can lead to a lot of different delays. And in my experience, people who elect to get their tax refunds through direct deposit come in much faster than when they have to get a mailed check. Okay, so there you have it. Don't forget to tell me whether or not you faced tax delays last tax season. Also, tell me what you think will happen this year as well and why. Anyway, we have 2 more tax videos coming up next that you may enjoy as well, and I'll see you over there.